Hi everyone, welcome to the Ask Conveyance Show. If you're wondering what this show is about, we have initiated this because we wanted to answer some of the most common questions that most of our clients and our viewers and followers have about their individual properties. So for those of you who have properties, title concerns, transfer concerns, for those of you who have your own individual properties, today we are going to be answering the top 7 of the most commonly asked questions about their own properties. So today you are going to be meeting me and Mr. Hardy Lipana right here. So Mr. Hardy Lipana is the president of Conveyance Realty Services Inc. Say hi, Hardy.
Hi everyone, welcome to the show.
Yeah, and I am Julius de la Cruz. I'm a real estate broker. Hardy Lipana is also a real estate broker, and together we have built a company that we call Conveyance Realty Services Inc. Just to give you a brief background, Conveyance Realty Services Inc. is a private company that specializes in providing professional, competent, and reliable title transfer and similar services here in the Philippines. We are composed of a diverse team of licensed professionals, legal and technical experts, and we cater to a wide array of land title services. So our services include, but are not limited to, title transfer, due diligence, assistance in reconstitution of lost title, reissuance of lost title, assistance in verification of property location, payment of property taxes, and so much more. So more often than not, we are actually here to help you with your property concerns. So if you have any title-related questions or any concern about your property, this is the perfect company to really help you with that. And today we have tried to collate the top 7 most commonly asked questions about properties. We did this because during this time of quarantine, we feel it's our duty to give back to the community. And this is how we feel like we will be able to help mostly to our fellow Filipinos and to our foreigner clients alike, because this is the skill set that we have, and most of you are taking time to be in the internet mostly now, and it's a very good opportunity for us to discuss this property concerns that you might have been putting off for a long time. So just to get us started, to give you a brief background of who we are, let me introduce to you again. Hardy, maybe you can give us a few introduction about what you've been doing in the past couple of years.
Hi, I'm Hardy Lipana. No? As Julius mentioned, I'm also a licensed broker, and I've been in the industry for the past 20 years. Mostly, I'm dealing with title transfer related concerns, so in resolving title transfer related concerns. I used to be the general manager of OMI Land Title Services. No, it's a land title company. So I've gained my expertise and experiences there, no, in resolving various land title issues, no, from the basic to the most complicated manner. So that is the reason that we put up this company, to help, in property owners, to assist them, with their title transfer concerns.
Yeah. And as for me, I'm Julius de la Cruz. I'm also a professional licensed real estate broker. I've been in the industry for more than 10 years, and we usually facilitate sales that are related to developers. So as far as the sales side is concerned, we understand the concerns of the buyers that they have about their own properties. And normally there are so many moving parts. It's not as simple as buying a property, and we understand the process from prospecting all the way to the sale and even all the way to the title transfer. And we have started to build this Conveyance Realty Services Inc., which is a company that specializes in title transfer. And we are here to basically help you guys out. That's it. So do you guys want to get started? We have a couple of questions here. Maybe Hardy, you want to start with one of the first questions that we have here?
Okay. So today we'll be discussing the top 7 questions. Okay, so for the first question, there was a contract to sell executed between a developer and an individual. The individual was not capable to continue the monthly amortization. he asked a friend to continue the amortization payment so that his down payment will not be put into waste. His friend just needs to pay him for what he has already paid to the developer. Can the friend transfer the title under his name once it's fully paid?
Okay, it's a very, very good and a very common question to ask. So, most especially now, no, in this particular time, we do have current a COVID crisis. It's quarantine, and most people are having a difficult time keeping up with the monthly payments. And if it so happens to you that you cannot continue to do the monthly amortizations for your property, if you are paying that on monthly installments with the developer, now the first thing that you have to do is ask the developer if you are doing or allowing an assignment, because we do have such a thing as what we call as assume balance. So if you will be paying the first owner, so for example, you have a friend who owns the property, he bought it, he's not yet done paying the property because he executed a contract to sell. What that means is, it is the developer is selling the rights to purchase a property to a certain person. And since hindi na niya kaya bayaran yon, or in other words, he can continue to pay the property already, you want to continue the payment, you can do that by executing a deed of assignment if the developer would allow it. So the first reaction to this should be, you need to check with the developer if they would allow a deed of assignment to be executed. So the second concern that you need to be asking is, what are the taxes and fees that you have to be paying, and if ever, are there transfer charges that you have to go through in order to do this? Because it's very simple. There are, for every transfer of property, there are taxes that are involved, and it's very important to settle this in full before the transfer is executed and effected. So part of the normal taxes that a person pays when executing a transfer, like say for example, some of the major developers here in the Philippines would normally charge you a capital gains tax, so that's 60% of the purchase price, and they would also charge you the documentary stamp tax, so it is 1.5%, and they typically have a service fee. So typically, that's how it's done here in the Philippines. And of course, it will always be dependent on a case-to-case basis. As I said earlier, there are so many moving parts to this. So it really depends if the developer would allow you. But in a general case, yes, this is very possible.
Hey, so the second question is, I bought a property. The title is already under the name of the seller, but the tax declaration is still under the name of the previous owner. Can I still transfer the title under my name?
Okay. This particular property concern is also very, very, very common. Most especially tayo mga Pinoy, no? We are very used to having payments na nagbabayad tayo on behalf of another person. So more often than not, what we usually do is we pay, for example, I know some people who pay electricity bills na nakapangalan pa sa property ng 2 dekada na ago, tas hindi na i-transfer. There are some people who do that locally. It is also not uncommon to find that happening in property. So for example, the transfer na yung title, and then what happened is yung amilyar is hindi pa na, yung amilyar na binabayaran, tax declaration, right, is also still being paid to the person who it's previously named under, so hindi na transfer in tax deck. So it's very common, and I think most of you can relate to this particular concern. And the question that we have here is, if you bought a property and you are already able to transfer the title to your name, can you still transfer the tax declaration to your name to follow? So the simple answer to this is a big yes, you can do it. It's possible to transfer it. There are requirements to do it. It will take a few weeks to do. Now, and I would advise, if you could do it, you have to do it para then finally straighten your records niya. Because it's, part of the ownership documents that you normally present is, of course, the title and the tax declaration. The tax declaration, as the name implies, it declares who is liable to pay the tax for a particular property. And normally, it is in tandem when you're showing a property ownership, when you're showing property ownership for a particular property. So, yes, the answer to that is a very simple and a big yes. You can still transfer the tax declaration to your name.
Okay. Okay, third question, Julius. I already bought a property from a seller. We fully paid the property, executed a deed of sale, and we notarized it. How soon should I do the title transfer?
So, okay. So this particular concern is something that is also very, very, very common here in the Philippines, because most people, when they buy properties, they treat it as if sometimes, they're buying any common item, like buying a pen or a chair or anything. They don't really realize that there's paperwork involved. And once they have the title, hawak na nila, they keep it. Sometimes, to the extent na ganun lang, no? Or sometimes, they try to keep the title, they executed a deed of sale, they notarize it, and they feel like that's it. That's the end of it. And there's no process after. And this is where a lot of problems come in. The simple answer to this question is you should do the title transfer as soon as possible, because there are taxes and due dates that are related to your property purchase. As soon as you have executed a notarized deed of sale and you have already basically sealed the deal, you fully paid the property, you have to execute the payment of the taxes which are corresponding to the property. Say, for example, capital gains tax, the documentary stamp tax, the transfer taxes, and the registration fees that are related to the title transfer. So it's very important because there are penalties and surcharges waiting for you if you don't pay these at the correct time. So say, for example, I'll give you one example. Capital gains tax is due 30 days after the notarization of the deed of sale. And if you kept it in your baul, your notarized deed of sale, and you let it rot there for like 30 years and then bibigay mo sa anak mo after a while, then magugulat na lang siya, ang dami na niyang penalty because you didn't do the
penalties na yan.
Yeah, exactly, right? So hindi mo na nagawa yung duty mo na dapat right away mo ginawa. So it's very important that we settle all taxes in full right away after the deed of sale for the title transfer to be effected. And you have to do this. There are deadlines. That's not the only deadline, by the way. There are so many others moving forward. But the bottom line is you need to have a title in your name shortly after that. Now that may take a few months because we are under a torrents titling system here in the Philippines, and there are checks and balances to make sure that the title is really yours and that the buyer is protected in each step of the way, which is quite good at any point. It's very important for us to do this process as soon as possible to ensure that you get the title under your name and you don't have any problems down the road or any surprise fees that will be subject to penalties and interest for you. So far that's it. We have a couple of questions per here that we'd like to answer. Okay, maybe we'll read this out. This question goes to Hardy. Sabi nung follower natin, I bought a house and lot from an individual. However, I found out only that the tax declaration of the land is declared at the assessor's office. There is no tax declaration for the house. Oh, can I transfer the property under my name without penalties? So, what you're saying is, mayroong tax deck yung land, pero yung property, wala. Hindi pa siya na-declare. Okay, Hardy, take it away.
Okay. So, anyway, based dun sa question, he mentioned that he bought a property, house, and lot. So, yung land, meron siyang tax declaration, but I think the tax declaration yung sa improvement, there's no tax declaration on the improvement. Okay, so his question is, can he still transfer it under his name without penalties? Okay, so first off, the tax declaration kasi it's very important. Aside kasi sa certified copy of title, the certified copy of tax declaration is required by the BIR. Okay, So, in this case, so if you have no certified copy of tax declaration, you need to submit a certificate of no improvement, okay, to prove that your property, no, has no improvement, no, kung vacant lot lang siya. But in this case kasi house and lot eh. So there should be a tax declaration for the improvement, no. So otherwise the BIR cannot compute, no, the exact transfer taxes kasi remember, one of the basis of the BIR is the market value in the tax declaration. So kung walang tax declaration yung improvement, hindi naka-declare, baka kulang yung bayaran niya na taxes. And ma-penalty siya kapag kulang yung binayaran niya. So what should he do? Okay, so first, before he proceeds with the transfer of title, he needs to have the tax declaration of the improvement issued, no? So how does he do that, no? So he needs to go to the assessor's office, no? And to tell the assessor that this property as an improvement, no, but the previous owner is only paying for the land, no. So the assessor will conduct an ocular inspection, no. They will check the property, and then they will give you an assessment for the back taxes, no. You need to pay for the back taxes for the improvement, no, not for the land. So after you pay for it, no, the assessor will now issue a new tax declaration for the improvement. Okay. So once you have the tax declaration of the improvement, no, so you can now get a certified copy. Okay, and you can now submit it to the BIR. Makakakuha ka na ng computation, no, actual computation for the transfer taxes. Kasi magkakaroon na ng market value yung improvement. Okay. So the question is, pwede mo siyang ma-transfer, no? Kaya lang, para hindi ka para hindi ka magkaroon ng penalties, no, you have to get the tax declaration of the improvement first before you proceed with the transfer. So kailangan mo muna siyang ayusin. Okay? So I think that answers it, no. So pwede siyang ma-transfer pa din. However, he needs to get a tax declaration of the improvement first before he proceeds with the transfer.
Another corollary to this basically is either kasi ang question niya is I bought a house and lot from an individual, so either this should have been declared right away, no, basically upfront, no, or so basically he should be able to complete the documents prior to transferring it, because if wala siyang tax declaration for the improvement, he needs to declare the property that is the improvement that is done on top of the lot. So before he actually, transfers the tax declaration to the next buyer, correct?
Correct.
Okay. So that settles that. Now another question we have here is, I bought a property from an individual. However, the person who sold the property to me did not transfer the title to his name. There was already a signed and notarized deed of sale. How do I transfer the property under my name?
Okay. So this is also a common problem, Jules, no? So he bought a property for an individual. Kaya lang yung title hindi pa nata-transfer dun sa seller, no? Yep. I think it's still under the name of the previous owner.
Oh, like the
meron na silang, they already have a deed of sale. Okay? So what can he do, no? Paano ma-transfer yung title sa pangalan niya? Okay, so first, no, since there's already a notarized, no, deed of sale, an executed and notarized deed of sale, no? So they have to go through with the first transfer, no, from the previous owner to the seller, no? So they have to pay the taxes, for the transfer, the capital gains, GST, transfer tax, no? So they have to process the transfer first from the previous owner to the seller, okay, before he can transfer it under his name, because there's already a deed of sale, a notarized deed of sale, no? Meron ng sale, okay? So kailangan mabayaran na yung mga corresponding taxes for that particular sale transaction bago ma-transfer sa kanya. So in this case, magkakaroon ng two transfers, no? One is from the previous owner to the seller, and then pag na-transfer na sa seller, that's the time na magkakaroon sila ng deed of sale, ta-transfer papunta sa kanya.
Correct. That's correct. So kanina, no, the question is, how soon should we transfer? The answer is immediately. So the question right now is, if you have a situation na nandyan na, hindi nga tin-transfer right away, ano nga yung kailangan gawin? So it really reinforces that na kailangan mo siya i-transfer sana immediately. Correct, no?
Correct. Tama.
That's correct. Kasi kung hindi, there are penalties and surcharges that are waiting for you, which is not going to be very pleasant. So it's very important that you're going to go through it anyway. You have to go through it the right way. And this is also one of the advocacies that we have here. No, we have to do the things here in the best possible way as soon as possible, because you're going to have to go through the transfer anyway, right, Hards? So
yes, kasi yun nga, you mentioned kanina yung sa question, no, yung how soon can I transfer, no? Kasi in a real estate transaction, in a sale transaction, timing is very crucial, no? Because once the deed of sale is notarized, no, the deadline of payments, no, are already in effect. Okay? Correct. So once notarized na yan, so yun na, tumatakbo na yung deadlines, no? So kaya it's very important na dapat maayos na kaagad, no, or ma-process na kaagad yung title transfer.
Okay, so down to the next question. We have another question here, Hardy. Another one from a married couple naman. I bought a property from a married couple. However, one of the spouses died before we executed the deed of sale. Wawa naman. What documents will we need to transfer the title to the property under our names?
Okay. So in this case, so yung registered owners are married couple, correct?
Correct.
And one of the, I think, registered owners passed away already. Okay. So yung question niya, what documents, no, does he need, no, to execute para ma-transfer dun sa name ng buyer? Okay. So in this case kasi, no, yeah, correct. So there's one of the co-owners, one of the parties is deceased already. So automatic yan by law of succession, no, yung mga legal heirs niya, no, becomes the owner, no, rightful owner of the property. So but however, before they do that, no, they need to settle yung estate, no, nung namatay, nung deceased, no. So they need to pay the estate taxes. Okay. For them to do that, they need to execute an extra-judicial settlement of estate. Okay? And then, but in this case, parang yung question kasi is, nabili niya na eh. Diba? Nabili niya na yung property. Okay? Fully paid na siya. So, what they can do is, they can execute an extra-judicial settlement of estate with sale. So, before they executed the deed of sale, so, what will happen is right now, what document the document they need to execute is an extrajudicial settlement of estate with sale. Okay? And then sa document na yon, ang magsa-sign yung surviving spouse, okay? And then yung mga heirs na. Okay? Kasi hindi na pwede yung deed of sale eh. Why? Kasi 'di ba sa deed of sale, ang dapat mag-sign doon yung registered owners. In this case, patay na yung isa eh. So, hindi na pwede ang deed of sale gamitin. Tama. So, ang kailangan for this transaction is an extrajudicial settlement of estate with sale. Okay? And then, they need to settle lang yung mga estate taxes and then the other corresponding taxes for the transfer like capital gains, the doc stamps, transfer tax. So, ganun pa din. Ang meron lang dadagdag dito is yung estate tax, no? Since the other party nga is deceased already, kailangan ma-settle muna yung estate niya para malipat yung share niya dun sa mga legal heirs. Okay, so the document that needs to be executed is an extrajudicial settlement of estate with sale.
Understand, that's correct. So basically, hindi po pwede yung deed of absolute sale lang.
Yes.
Yeah, the person who originally owned it died and the property owner get transferred to the legitimate heirs. So they have to execute that. Okay, next question. So maganda yung discussion. Actually, we have so much more for you guys. There are so many other questions, but we picked the top 7 that are most commonly asked. if you have other questions for us, say for example, it's about your property, how do you transfer this, or may minana kayo, or you have a title and you don't know where the property is because it's been several generations na minana mo siya. There's so many different cases, and it's very important for you to understand how this goes because your property is one of the largest asset classes in your life, and then you cannot just forgo this. This is a very important aspect of your asset class, and for you to know as well, so you can get this done in the right way. So we have another question. Well, just a note on that as well. Feel free to send in your questions, guys. If you have more questions. We are very, very open to answering them. And before we continue, we are down to the last question we'll be answering for today. Hardy, here's the question from one of our followers. I bought a property 10 years ago. I already have a deed of sale. Since I am an OFW, I was not able to handle the transfer of the property under my name. So here it is again, very recurring nga siya, no? So when I checked the deed of sale, I noticed that the deed of sale was signed but not notarized, and the seller is deceased already. How do I transfer the title under my name? Oh wow, this looks very complicated, most especially given the situation, no? He's not here, bumili siya, hindi pa na-notarize, right? And he doesn't know what to do, basically. So, Hardy, can you help this guy out?
Yeah, so, Jules, yun nga yung sinasabi mo kanina, no? This is the second question. How soon do I need to transfer my title upon execution of the deed of sale? So, that's the reason that we're saying na, kapag deed of sale na, nabili mo na, i-transfer mo na to avoid. Ito yung mga sinasabi natin ng mga ganitong problems, no? Na after 10 years, ngayon mo palang aayusin, hindi pa pala na-notarize yung document, and then yung original owner, yung sellers, is patay na. Okay? So, paano mo pa mapapanotaryo yan, di ba? So, yun yung sinasabi natin na these problems could have been avoided, no? Kung in the first place, naayos ka agad yan. But anyway, so, tapos na yun, we're here dito sa problem, no? So, but the good thing is, may solution pa rin yan. Okay? So, what does he need to do? Okay, so yung problem niya kasi, he bought it 10 years ago, meron na silang deed of sale. Kaya lang, hindi na notarized. Tama?
Correct.
Okay. So, in this case, he has two options. Okay. The first option is there's already a signed deed of sale. No? So, there's already a binding contract. No? So, the first option is he needs to file a court petition. Okay, he needs to file a court petition to ask the BIR to accept the payment, no, of the transfer taxes together with the penalties, no? Kasi 10 years ago pa to na execute. At the same time, kasama dun sa petition na yon, he needs to ask the Register of Deeds, no, to register, no, yung transfer of title for that property. Kasi hindi na siya na-notarize, hindi siya notaryado. Pero signed naman. Okay. However, yung option na yan, it might be costly and baka medyo matagal yan kasi it's a court procedure, judicial procedure, court proceedings, no? One, you need to have a lawyer. Okay? And then you have to follow yung court procedure na. You have to file a petition, baka may publication, and then you have to wait for yung sa court hearing, no? So, medyo complicated yan. Medyo matagal, no? Okay? So, however, that's an option, no? So, para malipat pa rin yung title sa pangalan niya. Okay, that's the first option. The second one, kung patay na yung owner, okay, so, anyway, hindi naman na-notarize yung deed of sale, no? What he can do is, he can talk to the heirs, no? Yung mga surviving heirs. And what will happen is, he will ask the heirs na, first, sasabihin niya, siguro, ipakita niya na meron na kaming deed of sale before. No? Pirmado naman, di ba? Kaya lang hindi ko lang na-transfer. So what they can do is, they can execute an extra-judicial settlement of estate. No? Kasi patay na eh. Para mailipat sa kanila. Okay? Yung share nila. And then, at the same time, sila na yung makapirma ng deed of sale. So, they can execute an extrajudicial settlement of estate with sale, katulad ng previous case natin, para diretso na matransfer sa kanya. Okay. Kaya lang, the key here is, kailangan pumayag lahat ng heirs, and kailangan makausap mo lahat ng heirs, no? Lahat sila kailangan, no? So, yun yung medyo tricky dyan. Kasi you have to locate all of the heirs, no? Kasi all of them must sign the document, no? All of them must sign na they agree na they have knowledge, they agree, they confirm na itong property na ito, na ibenta na ito sa'yo, no? Before namatay yung parents nila. Or yung, yung relative nila. Okay, so ito, Jules, in these cases, we see na meron namang may solution, but what we're saying is, in the first place, dapat this could have been avoided. Diba? Kung yun nga yung sinasabi natin na naayos kagad yung pagta-transfer ng title, no? Natulungan sila kaagad doon, naayos nila. So, hindi na dumating sa ganitong problema. Kasi, yun nga, pag dating sa ganyan, yan na, may penalties na yan, and we need to get additional help, kailangan mo na ng lawyer, so mas magastos na and mas matagal yung processing. That's the problem. So, it's very important talaga na kailangan maayos kaagad pag-transfer ng title.
Yeah, so basically, the recurring theme is what should have been a simple case becomes complicated sometimes because we are not fixing the problems very early on, and these things should be done anyway because they will be done anyway for the property transfer to be executed. They should be done sana immediately because there are so many problems along the way, and it's real. This is really what happens on field. Some people, they just buy a property, they pay it, and then buy. That's it. And akala nila that's the end of it. And we're saying this with a lot of love and concern, no, for the property owners, no. We understand that sometimes it might be complicated for some people to understand that the processing itself. But what we really recommend is to avoid more costly and more time-consuming problems down the road. Since you're gonna do it anyway, better do it na right away, sana, para you don't have any problems. And there are so many things to do. There's a process, yes. It also takes a while because there are checks and balances that each of the agencies have to check before they effect a transfer under your name right away. But it's very important that you get this done in the soonest possible time. So that's what we have as far as we are concerned today. That's what we have as much as we can accommodate for today's time. We actually have a lot more in store to share to you guys. There's so many other things that we know haven't been discussed through the show, and I know you have a lot more very specific scenarios that you might need to ask about. And mind you, guys, this is a show just to help give you an idea. Each particular case is very different, so sometimes there are no two similar scenarios. Because sometimes bumibili couple, binibilan mo couple, bumibili individual, sometimes corporation, or sometimes yung isang person na deceased na, and then bumibili single. It's a very different case for each one, and there are also very different requirements for each particular scenario. So this is not a direct application concern to your particular scenario right away. It's not a perfect fit, but I hope this was able to give you a better idea as to how generally things go, and it's very important that you get this fixed as soon as possible. So, Hardy, do you have any last message or parting words for our viewers?
I hope that itong first episode natin, you were able to, get some, useful or valuable information, no? For them, in a way that we're able to help, no, some of their title problems. And we look forward to hearing from them, no? Baka meron silang mga questions na related to, anything related to their title transfer concerns that we might be able to answer in our next episodes.
Yes, and we're looking forward to hearing from you. We're very much willing to help, and we hope this little discussion of ours was able to help you and give you more value for your business and for your investments. And we feel it's a very important topic, and we've tried to select the most common questions so that we can reach the widest audience as possible. most especially this time, no? This is a very important topic. You cannot go away from it. It's something that we feel is very important for you to know so that you can take good care of your assets as well. So again, me and Hardy, we'd like to thank you for watching this first episode of Ask Conveyance, and we look forward to hearing from you again.
Okay. Bye, everyone. Stay safe.
Bye, everyone, for now. Stay safe. Thank you, guys.